Okay. So the tripod sweep. Ideally, I want to have some kind of hooks between both ankles and have something to push his hip. And that'll make him fall. Once he falls, I would like to have some kind of sleeve, lapel grip, or something like that to be able to pull myself up and use the momentum of his fall to pull me up into top position. You typically see this off of a De La Riva type situation where, yeah, you put your foot inside here, this foot will come to the hip, and this leg drops. Okay, at that point, I have both ankles controlled. I can push his hip, I bring my foot in, and I'm coming up to pass. I have a slight problem with that in some circumstances because against bigger people, they'll be standing not so square to me, they'll be staggered a little bit with this leg back. And when you're over here, this leg can be difficult to reach against taller people. This angle right here can be difficult to get a nice push backwards perpendicular to the line of their foot too, right? Ideally, I want him to go perpendicular backwards from the line between his feet, so I don't want this angle. I'm gonna be a little bit squared up, which can be difficult. So a tripod sweep that I really like comes off of like the lasso type game where somebody starts off kneeling and I don't really commit my foot underneath the lasso until I want to do something from there. I just put my foot here to have some distance control. I might come over here to beat this arm and not let it, control my leg either. Here, push this off, and this sort of game with my feet. But when my foot is just dangling right here, for a while when I'm playing this game, people might start to lean forward too much a little bit. No, if they just lean down, lean on my leg too much, and try and collapse. And they realize that's not working because they're a little bit susceptible to some other things. So their game plan at this point might be to stand up and try and hip in on me. And at this point, let's just do this slowly so you can see what's going on here. Go back down a little bit and then rise back up. You'll see that my foot, just being here by his shoulder, is going to be near his waist level when he ends up standing. So I'm just going to let my foot float there and his hip is going to come up into it. All right? Yeah. So before he gets this far forward on me, though, really makes my leg come up too high above me. As he's coming up, before he moves too close to me, my foot is kind of floated in front of his hip. At this point, I'm just going to need to get control of his ankles. No matter how far, if this foot's a little further away, somebody really tall, it might be tough for me to reach. I can scoop it with this foot and just pull myself there very quickly. And then as part of that motion, my torso coming forward, this foot can then quickly chop back to this foot. So now I have both ankles and I can push on his hip. As he's going back, I'm just gonna not let my leg get tangled in his arm here. I'm just gonna unwind it and then I'm up. Okay, so just a little bit in faster motion. I'm here playing this game, he comes up. I'm coming up. It's something that's a little bit not as obvious that you're doing the tripod sweep from there. People generally don't see it when the lasso leg is across the arm like that. They don't think it's all of a sudden going to push on the hip. So a lot of people just bring their hips right in front of that foot and it's that. I also think that being able to reach across with your leg and be on your side like this helps me extend and get both legs when really tall people have their legs extended. So that's my move on that. Thanks.